Okay, I'm just
Sure.
going to turn my phone off.
Turning the phone off, yeah? Okay, great. Right, let me see if I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, you can hear me? I can hear you, beautiful. And we're recording, so this is great. Now, this is the exercise that I find very powerful. Here's to the best outcome for this session. Cheers, by the way. Without spilling it on our laptops. Just to review what you've shared with me so far, I heard from you, Damien, that you've had, as many of us men have had, a ongoing pattern of this anger or violence that's come through. And we were just identifying that it came through your dad and his dad and a whole lineage of men on the right side of your body, imagining them in back of you as though they're standing in the line like dominoes. Before actually greeting them and thanking them, because there's actually some gratitude to be able to heal this pattern, let's release your attachment to the entanglement that keeps you feeling like, oh my God, I just created a big feeling of abuse and distrust with my beautiful lover. That's not what I intended to create. So are you ready? Let's do a simple little exercise that I love to do that I find very powerful. Okay. So just at first, shaking out your wrists as though you're flicking out the pattern, adding, I love Monty Python, the ridiculosity of the pattern as though you're letting go of disgust with the sounds of bleh, like you're vomiting it out. Because it is disgusting to carry this pattern, but not acting like performing this, really bleh, like you're getting it out of your body just with the sound and the movement. Bleh, 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 bleh. That's right. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Yeah, keep doing that. Yeah, keep doing that. I'm tired of this. Enough already. Been there, overdone that. Doesn't serve me. Doesn't serve me. Oh. Okay, good. Now, take your right hand and direct it to the right-hand corner of your screen, the right-hand top corner of your screen. I'm doing that to my right-hand corner. It looks like the left-hand corner to you, but it's directing the energy out through your right arm to the men, to your father in particular, and saying, at first, these exact words. You don't have to mimic, parrot, or monkey me. It could be slightly different, but I'm going to set the stage for you to create this shift, okay? Dad, I now address you, or whatever you call it. Yep, Dad, I now address you. From all the ways that you showed me anger and violence when I was growing up,
from all the ways that you showed me violence and anger when I was growing up.
And imagine yourself with your eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter, directing the energy out through your right arm, because that's the male side of our body, the assertive side of our body. It affected me so much, Dad, that I too have internalized this familiar pattern of being angry and violent when I don't even want to. Tell them your version of what I just said. Yeah.
It affected me so much, Dad, that I took it on. I took on that pattern, that familiar pattern of violence and aggression.
Yeah, and it's flared up. It's come up particularly in, I imagine, my relationships with women and other people. Here's how it's affected me, Dad. You don't have to tell them all the stories, but how it's affected me the most is, go ahead, tell them.
It's come up, well, it's come up in all my relationships, in friendships and in romantic relationships with the women in my life. It's constantly come up and push people away.
Yeah, and feel the sadness in your eyes. I can see I can feel the wetness in your eyes. You're talking. This is, and the voice gets softer. It's, I feel sad that I have repeated this pattern, and it doesn't belong to me. It never belonged to me. Dad, this was an unconscious way for me to get close to you. It's so bizarre, but you can see the truth in it. This was a way that I could be close to you, to exhibit this anger because you were angry, this violence because you were violent. It was a way, because I couldn't get close to you, that I could at least energetically repeat something that I saw was familiar, your version of that. And let the tears come if they come. This is good. Just breathing and tell him your version of what I just said. Your truth, not my words. If you get stuck, I'll help you.
I was just trying to get close to you in in acting out these same harmful patterns, in doing the same thing to others that you did to me. It was just this sad way of me trying to feel closer to you or to connect with you.
Exactly. It was never my true persona. It was a false identity I developed in order to cope with your abuse. Yeah, that's good. Feel the pain.
Never me. It was never the real me.
Yeah.
It was never the real me. It was just this false identity that I embraced, but it was never me.
It was a way that I could cope with your abuse, was developing this. Yes. Yeah, it keeps.
It was a way for me to cope with your abuse.
Yes.
When I had no other way of knowing.
That's right.
What
this was a way that I could. That's right. I could. This is one way that I defended myself from your anger and attacks. I became hardened in a way that was a false shell, a false personality on top of my true, beautiful essence. This is what happened. This is what I did. And that's telling him the truth. Yeah, this is what happened. This is good. You're feeling the tears now because this is allowing you to let go of the pain. This is beautiful, Damien. Doing great. Now, go like this with your hand as you're holding it into an open chalice. Look what I'm doing. It's like an open cup. And go like this with your other hand, with your left hand, saying these words. I take this pain that I've been carrying all these years and I wad it up in an ugly ball. Your version of those words, go ahead.
I take this pain that I've been carrying for my whole life, and I'm going to scrunch it up into a little ball, wad it up into a little ball.
And I send it back to the source, really strong with your full energy and intention.
And I'm sending this back to the source.
I'm sending this pain back to where it came. Feel it, feel it. Feel it.
I'm sending this back to where it came. No longer serves me anymore.
Good. Feels good to do that, doesn't it? Now you're using the anger in an appropriate way. You know, you're empowering yourself to be angry with the anger. You know, like, hey, you know, enough of this already. This is in my way. It's stuffing up my relationship with this beautiful woman that I'm in love with, my beautiful partner, and with all my friends. It doesn't serve me any longer. Now, take a deep breath in, feel the softening, feel the gentleness, feel the tenderizing in your soul, your ability, feel your chest moving up and down, how much easier it is, you can feel it, can't you, to breathe, feel this harmony, this gorgeous harmony that's taking place. And say these words now. I have just sent this pain back to the source.
Back to the source.
Back to where it came.
Back to where it came.
From now on, whenever I feel this anger swelling up and my tendency to be violent and angry, as soon as I feel that first impulse.
Whenever I feel this anger coming up inside me, this boiling up, that as soon as I feel that first impulse,
my new way of thinking, speaking, and taking action is, so we're now creating a new pattern. Go ahead, describe what you see it.
My new way of thinking and of speaking and of acting is
they're right there, right there. You had the smile right there. What was that? There is an insight. I saw that.
It's to realize that I'm safe to communicate how I feel.
There we go. And now notice when you said it, I'm safe to communicate how when you said feel, you didn't fully believe it, because when you said feel, it was kind of a question. I put my hand on my heart. It was beautiful. There you go as an anchor. There we go. I put my hand on my heart. I feel the tenderness and love that I have for my own life, for my beloved, for those nearest and dearest to me, for life itself, and for all creation. Saying those versions of your version of what I just said, whatever resonates with you, it doesn't have to be my words, just whatever. I put my hand in my heart and tell myself.
I put my hand on my heart and I feel reassured of all the things that I believe, that we're all connected, and the beauty in the world, and that my experience and my feelings are valid as well, and that I can trust in my ability to communicate better.
And then putting it into the fewest words, you said it earlier, but we want to shift it from, notice the difference between these two statements. Watch what I'm saying. I'm safe to communicate my truth with ease. And then the second statement, I'm safe to communicate my truth with ease. What's the difference in those two statements? It's pretty obvious what I just did, right? What did I do? One's
asking and one's making a statement.
Exactly. You got it. So we're turning doubt, uncertainty, self-questioning, pulling back into the sound goes down through the base of the spine to the center of the molten earth. The sound is one of deepening. And now both of your hands are on your heart. That's beautiful. So you feel just even caressing this area as a beautiful lover would, you being your own internal beloved as well, as I treat myself with this care, with this kindness, with this tenderness, with this trust, I attract to me the most beautiful, loving partnerships with all beings, with all people. It's like a shift in perception, but it's also a practice, a very simple practice. So my question to you now is, first, let's say the words, I'm safe to communicate my truth with ease, as though you believed it, with the sound going down. Let's reinforce and anchor that one. Let's hear it first. Go ahead.
I'm safe to communicate my truth with ease.
Beautiful. Feel the resonance in that. And just taking time to feel the pleasantry of that, the beauty of that, the strength of that beautiful statement, the beauty of that strong statement. So we're combining your nurturing, your inspiring, deep breath in, and your empowering, long breath out, with action. How I'm going to remember what we just set in motion here today in this simple exercise is, what are you going to physically remember? And perhaps do with your hands, do with your breath, do with your thoughts. So let's now create anchors that allows you to, when you forget, because you will forget, how you can remember, because you will remember by what? How I'm going to remember what we just set in motion is.
I think that placing my hand on my heart.
Yes. Yep. And what else? That's a simple gesture. So as soon as you do that, that can stop me. Someone you need to speak with?
No.
Okay. You were looking over to the side. I was thinking maybe there's someone you need to communicate with.
I think maybe an ancestor or something.
Well, actually, this is good. So turning to your left again, let's do that and say, as I turn my head, let's use everything you do as part of the session. This is great. As I turn my head to the left towards my own past, to where I came from, who I envision in front of me or to my left side that I am ready to address is male, female, it could be a fictitious being or someone that was actually part of your family. I feel like I'm addressing I can have the sense that I'm looking at go ahead.
I feel like I'm addressing my father or the men.
All the men. Yeah. And I have, good, this is what I was going to do with you earlier. And I have a statement to all the men who've come before me in my life, because I'm now shifting this pattern that has been carried on multi-generationally from one father to son, one next father to son. Here's a message I have to all the men in my ancestry, all of you who've come before me. Let's hear it.
Here's the message that I have for all the men that have come before me, all the men in my ancestry. Mm-hmm. It's about this idea of success. You felt like you were failures, and you were never failures except in your own mind. And all you needed to do was...
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and I've carried this thought too, this belief that I was a failure unless I reach a certain image of success that my father was demanding and his father was demanding. I now release that pattern, that belief, now and forevermore, for myself and all my generations, past, present, and future. Your version of that, please.
I'm releasing this pattern, this idea that's germinated inside us for so long, that we're failures, that we haven't succeeded. I'm releasing all these ideas of failure, and I'm going to back myself.
Yes. Now, I am grateful for the opportunity that all you men, all of you who've come before me have provided, so I can take a stand for all of us and take a stand for all of us being successful in our own right. I take that stand now and forevermore for all of us. I stand for all of us being successful. Let's see, you say your version of what makes sense to you there. Yeah.
I'm grateful for all the lessons that you've all taught me. But now I take a stand, and I take a stand on behalf of all of us, of all those past generations and of the future generations. I take a stand for all of us. We're going to back ourselves and not see ourselves as failures.
This is beautiful. Now, as you see your father, your grandfather, and anyone in your lineage over there responding to you, what do you hear them saying to you in gratitude? Because you're shifting a really powerful pattern that's been enmeshed in the psyche unconsciously over decades and hundreds of years. So in gratitude, what would your father say?
He's just telling me to stand tall.
Beautiful, beautiful. And take a deep breath in, feel the chest lifting, the image of the sunrise lifting in the morning sky as the whole spine lengthens. Beautiful. And say, thank you, Dad.
Thank you.
Your grandfather. It's great to see the tears coming from your face. This is such a powerful, and there's a bit of sweat coming through too. This is such a tender, powerful moment for you. You see why I wanted you to record this. Have you revisit this again and again would be such a good anchor for you. Your grandfather, what would he say witnessing this process today, even though he's not physically here? Is he still alive?
Yeah.
No. What would he say to what you have just done? What would he call you, Damien, grandson?
Yeah, I can just hear him saying sorry to his own son.
Ah, beautiful. To your dad. Let's hear him say it as though you were him in his body, in the way he would move, breathe, stand, speak. Speak as though you were him.
Son, forgive me. I never had the words. I never knew how to show you that I loved you. I never knew how to tell you that it wasn't your fault. All the suffering you felt, all the guilt you felt, none of it was yours. And I just love you, my son.
Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. feeling this healing moving through all the generations, sweeping like a wave through past, present, and future. Even though you may have never met your great-grandfather, you never met him in this life, I imagine, right? No. Speaking to him. And now having him also speak to either his son or to all of those who came after or before, what would he say with the feeling of aha and insight and relief that you 3-4 generations later are providing this shifting that's caressing all of these beautiful souls who've been wounded in their own way? Your great-grandfather would say.
I'd say that he realizes now that everything is within, that we've been looking outside for the answers or for the thing that will fill that gap or fill that void. And it's been within us the whole time. We know all the answers. We've just got to back ourselves and believe in ourselves. And that's where step into true empowerment.
This is beautiful. Now feel yourself as you're hugging yourself, caressing yourself with your hands and your arms, all of the men in your multi-generational history also hugging each other, embracing each other in this rejoicing of this new pattern that is a sustainable pattern that all have been hungry for hundreds of years. Feel the hugging, picture the embracing, crying, the gratitude. What do you see? Envisioning as though you're watching a movie. If you were watching a movie, what would you see all these men doing, including you?
They're hugging and patting each other on the shoulders and tears.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Which brings up then my next question, which I was going to ask a number of times, but now it's the right time to ask it. Feeling the tears that have been coming through you in the session, the wetness in the eyes, the feeling of tenderness, gratitude. What would the tears say if you could speak in a way that the words would match the sensation of the tears? Of course, it would be a form of gratitude. Now, what would the tears say, a form of relief, that would be speaking to you now and saying to you, Damien, we are the tears coming through you now, and we're so grateful that, or your version of what the tears would say that matches the sensation of the tears and the wetness around your eyes and coming out through your eyes from it.
The tears would say that they're just grateful for the release. That all the things that I've been holding on to so tightly that I thought I needed to control or hide away or whatever, that just the tears are showing me how simple it is just to release it all. It's not a burden to carry. Beautiful.
So now, as you are releasing it all in this session here, and you are speaking your truth with ease, now let's move forward in the visualization of your beautiful relationship with Jem. You and she together as, if it's meant to be, life partners, at least for now, beautiful partners moving through life, gifting each other with releasing the wounding and being the most tender, gorgeous, loving souls with each other. What do you envision now in the next moment you speak with her on the phone, the next moment you see her in person? Where are you living, by the way?
I'm in Eureka near Clunes.
Which is how far from?
Like an hour from you guys.
Okay, so not far from Cuyahoga area. Okay, so beautiful. So imagine yourself seeing her very soon, because you're going to want to see her very soon after this. And what's different in your communication from now on from now on we? Tell me what you see, just like you said in the visualization with the men, now with Jem, what do you, with Jemima, what do you see? There we go. Yeah, do that with your hands. Keep doing that motion with your hands. That's repetitive motions.
There was some bug or something.
Oh, the bug is part of it too. Right, that's okay. That's cool. All right, so here's what I envision different now in my relationship there. The colors are different, the feeling of being able to look into each other's eyes, to breathe. What's different? Because now we're going to set that in motion and anchor that too. Yeah.
What feels different is that before I was carrying this fear that at any moment I might lose control.
Of course.
And I was like tiptoeing around myself. I was always afraid. It was like living with, I don't know, living with some dangerous tenant in my house. And now I just
like with a dangerous, like almost like a hand grenade that was ready to explode any minute if you take your hand off the trigger. But now we have something different. Yeah. Now, if you look at the colors different from before, if the colors before were one color and the color now is a different color, what would you say? We're going to go through different visualizations now. Before, the mood or the color was, you might say, red and red.
There was just a darkness around the edges. I could just see this darkness coming in. Right. And now, picture Gem, I can just see, all that golden light around her, and it's just all much lighter.
Beautiful. Take a deep breath in, and whenever you breathe in, picture the sunrise lifting as the chest lifts in the morning sky, and that golden feeling of warmth and sunlight whenever you take a full breath in, nurturing, feeling that whole band around the chest and heart expanding. The sound of that heartfulness that now can come through. What sounds would be different if before there were certain kinds of sounds, but now it's shifting a bit to a different quality of sound when you're in the same room or in the same environment together? Before it was, now it is.
Again, before it was a much lower kind of sound, and now it just feels like a much higher
more higher pitch sound, more inspirational sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel that. Again, deep breath in. Touch. In touching her and her touching you, before, was there some kind of hesitancy, touching but pulling back, or a feeling of, gee, I'm uncertain? And when now it's more of a feeling when we touch, there's so what's different in touch?
In the touch, I can still feel that she needs to be held with a firmness, but before there was like a pressure or like a pushing of my will, and now I realize I don't need to do that, that I'm strong enough just in the holding of her.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. I'm strong in the holding. That's a beautiful statement. And, that's what we as men are to do, is to be that firm, that strength, that feeling of steadiness where the woman, because, she can be very volatile, that, and very passionate in her own way. She can go all over the place. So having that feeling of calmness now is coming in that couldn't be there before, when an explosion could happen any moment. So this is beautiful, holding that strength, and yet all of that feeling of that beautiful embrace of tenderness that's also more available to you because you're more tender with yourself. Smell. What's different in the smell or the odor or the scent or the fragrance? If before it was more, now it's now.
I don't know. I was just before there was like some kind of smoky smell or like a burnt something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I can just smell like the sweetness of her skin and her pheromones and her.
Love it. And now taste. In the taste, whether you're tasting her or tasting the relationship or tasting your connection, the taste before was a taste in my mouth. I leave a situation and it left me with a taste of. Before it was this. From now on, it is what? Taste.
Yeah, before there was this bitterness, and now it just feels like a sweetness.
Excellent. Now, we're going to go to something slightly different now, but using a similar activation of the different senses to encode this new pattern of loving embrace, you being able to communicate your truth with ease, grace. Closing your eyes and just feeling everything that we've shared so far here today. And in the most beautiful, optimal connection with yourself and your beloved, and with life and all creation, imagine yourself walking in your favorite place, your favorite go-to place, where life is brimming with joy and radiance. See the colors there, the colors of the sunlight. If there are plants around, how the sun fills the green of the plants with this lovely, almost phosphorescent glow. Feel how the colors all around you are illuminated, even brighter and clearer than before. Taking a deep breath in, feeling this beautiful place. And inside you, where before it may have also been feeling dark, whenever you breathe in from now on, picture the warmth of the sunrise lifting in the morning sky, the golden and warming colors, yellows, oranges, reds, roses, breathing in those colors. The beauty of connecting also with your beloved Chen and Jemima, with both of you, seeing yourself dancing in this golden light together, dancing, making love, even in your speaking, making love in the words, the thoughts, the touch, all of this filled with these warm-hearted colors. Now we move to the element of sound, where before you were feeling some dullness and perhaps some harsh sounds. Now you're listening to some of the most beautiful music you've ever heard. And you're noticing that the music is coming not from outside of you. It's not a band or orchestra or singer. It's coming from inside. There's an orchestra playing the music of your soul, the song of your heart, feeling the lightness, the clarity, the inspiration of these sounds. The element of air bringing you to connect also with the elements of earth, the beauty of the strength of what you stand on, feeling the colors that are ignited in that, the element of water, the sounds, trusting what you deeply know, my thoughts, my words, my actions, fully, freely flow. The element of fire, turning anger to empowerment, bitterness, resentment to appreciation and gratitude. The sounds of taking a stand for what you truly believe in, for what you stood up for today with all of your generations, men and women, you now resonating a higher vibration, embracing this place with grace, trusting your will to move forward in a good way. The inspiration of moving with clarity, with purpose, with the feeling that I trust the most beautiful connections that I now set in motion with myself, my partner, and with life itself. Each breath is an inspiration, filling the heart, embodying your true, full, well-guided thought. And finally, the element of ether. For the beauty of that powerful, penetrating sound that introduces clarity where there was fogginess before, or having the shadows come up and remembering those things. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Being at one with all, with the consciousness of what you came here for. We move to the element of touch. And feeling that beautiful strength of holding Jemima in a way that she needs to be held, but she can relax into her true femininity. She can release all of the volatility of being unsure and speaking so fast. And your touch slows her down and calms her spirit and allows her to be the most beautiful flowering essence that she is meant to be. You able to touch, and yourself, even as you touch your heart, as you have in this session, whenever you're feeling a certain slight anger or bitterness or aggravation coming up, just a gentle embrace of your own, touching your own heart and remembering who you truly are, your gentle strength that speaks stronger than ever before. This fragrance, the smell, where there's a sweetness, the beautiful sweetness all around, smell of gardenias and your favorite smell of flowers, your smell and your ability, even when you're also around Jemima, to feel her sweet smell and the moving of joyful, radiant, grateful connection that you have within your own inner beloved as well. Feel the sweetness that's emerging as you breathe, yes, fully in and long all the way through. More room to follow through on what matters the most to you. And then the element of taste. Any bitterness that you've carried from these old unconscious patterns that have seeped through, that no longer need to seep through, because now you have all these anchors to turn bitterness to sweetness. The taste of Jemima's sweet skin, the taste of your favorite foods, the taste of the sweetness of the conversation that we've been engaging in here during this hour, that now have an effervescence and a repercussion that lasts through all time. As you today have taken a stand of command in your land, in your body, the chief instrument of communication, where now you're in a whole different place in your relationship with yourself, life, and with creation. Feeling a smile coming to your face from all that we've set in motion here today. Feeling the breathing, remember each breath in, sunrise lifting, yes. Each breath out, waters. Sunrise lifting, strong, clear. Waters falling, long. You connected to your inner core, to your authentic nature. And from this moment forward, coming from this place, with every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you breathe. Hear the birds singing. outside and inside. Feel the harmony in your soul. And as you feel the smile coming to your face, very slowly, opening your eyes, entering this new place, this renewing place. And before we complete today, this is a good time for you to share with me what you've learned, what you've gained, what lessons and teachings and awakenings you're sitting with now that is a new stage, a new page where the mage and sage has an opportunity to truly come through any moment, this moment, all the time in the world. Speak to me. What have you benefited from in this time, and what are you going to remember the most?
Just being reminded of just reconnecting with my power, and being reminded that all I need to do is to just sit still for a moment and all the answers will come through.
It's interesting as you said that. When I heard you say all the answers will come through, I was visualizing when you said that, you also saying all the ancestors coming through as well. It sounded almost as I was expecting that's what you're going to say, but so somehow they're connected. Now the ancestors can come through in a good way, where before there was all this darkness, hard and sharp corners, and now the answers and the ancestors can come through, and you are that answer. What moments stand out from this session the most that you will always be, of course, you can look at this video and listen to it, and probably sharing it with Jemima will be a beautiful experience to you both as well. What moments from what we've shared so far stand out for you that you'll always remember? I'll always remember.
I'll always remember just the change in the men, the change in those ancestors. Like you're saying, like I could feel them there, and I was almost afraid to let them come through because they were so, I couldn't trust them. And now that feeling's gone, and I just feel all these strong, happy men there to support me.
Beautiful. So and now you're able to be supportive, to all.
They're all so happy.
Say that again.
Just them all feeling so happy. I can just see them all patting each other's shoulders, being happy.
Yes. And in a way, in a subtle and symbolic way, the statement, "I've got your back," comes through. Feel the gratitude, the tears of gratitude that are there now in your face. Again, if the tears were to speak now from a place of gratitude, what would the tears say in appreciation for all that's happened here in this hour today?
Yeah, just saying thanks. It's just so much gratitude. These are tears of gratitude. Just again, show me how easy it is to flow when we just let ourselves.
Absolutely. I'm going to ring the bells once more, and then I'm going to turn off the recording. We can talk for a few more minutes, but in terms of this powerful, impactful session, you can return to it any time. This is not the beginning of the end. This is the new beginning. This is a fresh beginning for you, for all time, for all your relations. Proud of you, what you've set in motion. Now watch how your inner and outer world rejoice in a way you never knew you could, in a way you could trust that you never knew you could. Watch how all your relations are also improved. Your thinking, your speaking, your ability to speak up. I'm happy to have you also communicate with me if you'd like to go further and deeper, or have another view, something else that comes up. I'm happy to work with you further. Sit with this and feel how that sits with you in the meantime. It's always helpful. I always like to be hearing from people that I've worked with what has shifted, and then we can also continue being communication, whether it's in a session or simply to be there with someone you know is going to reinforce what we've set in motion. Happy to be there for you and for others also who benefit in this way. Bless you, brother.
Amazing.
Bless you. I'm going to turn off the recording for now, and then we'll keep talking for a few moments.